happy Monday. I hope that today is treating you well. Today, ugh. Okay, so this is a project I'm going to regret. I feel like all I do on this server is dig. We are playing on the Shattered Universe server. Didn't even finishing touches. Okay, sure. I realized I didn't even check, like, the name of the stream. That's fine. So we are playing on the Shattered Universe server. I am working on my stupid storage system. So the library has come along great. We're gonna pop up there in just a second. In fact, I'll start heading that way now. What we're probably gonna be doing is laying down flooring. Because that's really fun. But in the midst of laying down flooring, I thought this was the exit. That's not the exit? This is the exit. I was so close. In the midst of laying down flooring, we are going to start preparing for a prank. That's right. Maybe if I prank people, they'll come back on the server. How do I put this in? Okay, here we go. Just like that. Hello, villagers. Goodbye, villagers. So the access to this is going to be changed eventually. Oh geez. Oh gosh. Let me know if the balance is off too between the music and voice, because I can fix that. That's an easy fix. Super easy fix. Okay, let's kill this guy. So I don't remember where we were at with the library last time. Judging by the fact that the previous stream name was Finishing Touches, I'm assuming we're still working on it. For the most part, the exterior of the library is done. A few changes have been made. So the spacing here has been changed due to some design things from inside. I still haven't quite finished this. It still needs statues and then like a roof on the inside. But BC, whoa! Hello! Hello! Goodbye. Are you dead yet? There we go. Okay. BC and I have been doing some work. So this is BC's design, and I've just been supplying materials, kind of helping build. The first floor isn't even completely done. Oh, this is new. He's definitely been working on it. Oh my god. Oh, that's gorgeous. I haven't seen him online in a few days. We must be running opposite schedules. So I'm guessing this is offices. Oh, so excited. Okay. Yay. But yeah, this is BC's design, and it's great. I love it. It's fantastic. I like the benches. I'm hoping we can get some like study spaces. So the plan was kind of on these ends, because the ends are a slightly different shape, that the ends will be like a museum curation of sorts, and then offices. So it looks, oh, that looks so great. I'm so excited. But yeah, we did this. So many bookcases, you guys. Oh my gosh, it's my friend. It's friend. I am sufficient. But yeah, this is the library right now. I think I have most of the glowstone on me because the library is going to be connected to the storage system. I'm gonna try and use some of these same colors and design ideas in the storage system. So I'm very excited about that. It's gonna be great. Let's do a little bit of work on the prank that we're working on, and I'm not going to say who we're pranking, largely because I haven't actually decided. I just know that I want to do a prank. So let's come down here. I have a lot of things on me, so this might take a minute. So the idea for the prank is that we fill someone's house with cake. So I have a lot of, here, let's get some of this out. I have a lot of shulker boxes. I went and I spent a bunch more money on shulkers. And I have filled quite a few of them, actually. But if my calculations are accurate, and it's entirely possible that they aren't, but I would rather overestimate than underestimate, we're gonna need 193 shulker boxes of cake to make this break happen. So let's just cake. Cake. Oop. So much cake. Okay, it's fine. All the cake in the world. Let's do that. I'm worried that we're gonna... It is both a blessing and a curse that we can get so much cake all at one time. Because I'm gonna run out of shulker boxes. Even though I spent 43 diamonds on shulkers earlier for this. And even though I got a stack when I went end busting last time. Here we go. Oh no! Oh no, I'm out of thing. Hold on, I gotta close down this other window. I don't know if you guys can hear the noises it's making, but I can hear the noises it's making. Need more emeralds. That's fine. Eat a carrot. Woo. Ah, no. Bad. Bad. Don't do that. Now we have to go down and get it. Oh no. Well, oh well. Stone. I think these guys need to be turned again. Their trades are rising. I just did them recently. But I haven't had any problems with any of my other trades reverting back to higher prices. Except these guys. So I don't know what the deal is, but I do still, you can see the zombie over here. I do still have the zombie, so I could do what I wanted there. But, oh, there are things happening. Basic room, gotta figure out. Oh, Insufficient was on earlier. Open hub. I read hot tub. Nice. Ooh, was there anything waiting for you in the nether? I will show you guys with a riddle, I guess. And a large tunnel. Cough, cough. What is this? Okay. I hate myself. I hate that I said teamwork makes the dream work. Okay, let's see here. Oh. There's all kinds, all kinds. Let's go up. See here? Yep. I'm also planning on making a soul soil highway. Gotta do things. Alright, cake! I don't know why there's that weird guy whispering things. I mean, I know this is royalty-free music, but really? I get really excited whenever Insufficient comes on. And it's not that I'm not excited when other people come on. I don't know. I think it's just that... Insufficient and I, there was a long period of time where, like, we would be the only two on the server at the same time. And so I think there's just a connection there. There we go. Okay, I think this is gonna be all I can do for now. Let's take a look. So much cake. So much cake. So much cake. Okay. Yep, that's good. Okay. Alright, these are all cake. Let's do this. And then I want to get my stuff back. I am actually not here. Oh my gosh, you guys. I forgot to sign out of my work accounts. Give me 2 seconds. Oh, man. Sorry, person. Alright. Okay. I'm now out of all of my work accounts. That's not supposed to happen. Okay. Up, sleep, 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 sleep. There we go. So he is basically there. It's a really terrible riddle. So we're gonna go watch Insufficient and see if he can figure out where he's supposed to go. There is, so if you haven't seen this, oh, hello. 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 Oh, I need to, there we go. I wish I could show you guys the riddle. Basically, he needs to break through this wall. Make sure to read the second page. No stream sniping. No stream sniping. That's riddle cheating and stuff. Yeah, I know. Oh, look. It's a conglomerate. Okay, is it a conglomeration if there's only 2 of you now? Here we go. Ooh. Oh, you just heard it. Okay. Gotcha. Murder magma. Murder. Oh no. That was a poor shot. Oh yeah, I saw that Tango was live. I know I was looking to see who was live and I was like, oh, all the big people are live right now. It's funny because I was just watching a Tango video where he's working on his deck game thingy. Insufficient! Did you figure it out, dude? I guess I can just talk to you and you can type in chat. Oh, book. Alright. Let's read this for other people. Thank you. Beneath the world where undead rest lies a haven for only the best. That's Mole Crew, by the way. A golden spade will lead the way to countless treasure, its price prepaid. No secret passcode guards this door, simply use your tools to use forevermore. That's really bad. I just read that. Now I'm embarrassed by that part of the riddle. Basically, I couldn't get the redstone to work. And I was like, whatever, you guys can break through the wall. As we all stare head and swish it. Woohoo! I mean, alternatively, you could also take it down the top one. Woohoo! This is Mole Crew Seeker Base. Everything is free. Woohoo! There's water bottles. You can enchant, you can set your spawn, you can grab some armor. No elytra. You guys have to get your own elytra. Elytra are expensive. And then there's this book, which is Welcome to the Mole Crew Clubhouse! Take a break, grab some gear, and relax. Everything here is free, and any donations are more than welcome. Mole Crew, best crew. Mole Crew is the best crew. Thank you. I hate this couch. Yes, yes. Hit the button and bloom. Armor. Oh. Now you know. I was thinking about that. I feel like these maybe should be stone. Do I have stone? No. Oh, I could make them 1, 2, 3, 4. I could make them jungle. Oh, that stands out way more. Oh yeah, shaders, man. Yeah, it is really dark and moody. It's funny because sometimes like I take shaders off and I'm like, the world is so bright, especially in the Nether. Like the Nether is so dark. So sometimes I'll take them off if I'm working in the Nether, like getting ancient debris or traveling or something like that. But for the most part, I don't know, it's fine. I have 2 hands. Look, Mom, 2 hands. I don't remember. I think it's Silder's Vibrant. So let's take a video shaders. Yeah, Silder's Vibrant 1.22 Extreme. I've been there. My computer is basically brand new, which is why it doesn't do that. Which is why I can do what I do. I upgraded in January, and I specifically bought a gaming PC so that it could run all of the things, because I was tired of compromising. Shall we? Shall we? Ta-da! mean, yeah, cool. Awesome. Love you guys. Here we go. Oh. Ah, beautiful library. So much netherrack, but I totally understand. Oh, here. I have more. Follow me. Or I could bring them to you, actually. I mean, it's literally like right here. Characterization 1. I mean, I'm fine. Oh, you want to bloop? Bloop, no. Okay. Hey, come back. Wait, stop. Freeze. Stop moving. What? Stop. I think that's them. Yeah, okay, that's them. Yay, Minecraft. Hi, Blind. Thanks so much for the follow. I'm so glad that you're here today. We are playing around on the Shattered Universe server. Insufficient Shelby and I are on right now. I'm kind of showing Insufficient some of the things that I've been working on since I played with him last. It's been a while. So one of them is the library, which you can see in a little bit more depth, maybe if you watch the VOD. But basically it's like a repeating pattern here. It's still in the works. And then I think these are offices. I haven't talked to BC yet, who's the one who is designing the library. So it's really great. Having a lot of fun. We should probably sleep so that we don't die. Thank you. So it's very loosely, this library is very loosely based on a real library. It's the, it's called the Long Room. It's a library at Trinity University in Dublin, Ireland. But yeah, it's one of my favorite things that I've ever built, I think, so far. And it is, hands down the largest structure that I have ever built. Especially the largest structure that I've ever built that's been detailed, even though the detail stuff is still kind of in the works. So, oh, I fell off. It's fine. I was not mocking up something for real life. I was basing, this build is based off a real life build, the Trinity Long Room in Dublin, Ireland. So if you like Google that, you can probably maybe see some familiarity. I obviously took some liberties because it's Minecraft and it's my world and I wanted to. But you'll definitely see a structure that looks a lot like this. Yeah, inspired by. There we go. Inspired by. That's the right word. Also, don't tell anyone, but I got my last cat head today. So that's been exciting. I finally have had enough black cats spawn that I felt comfortable murdering one for the black cat head. So let's actually put that in our heads box. Oh geez. Okay. No splatting today. So there are 11 cats in Minecraft, and so all of these are cats. That's 9, 10, and 11. Yeah, so the heads is a data pack that we have installed. So I think the only head that you can naturally get in Minecraft is the Wither Skulls. I don't know what he's killing cats. Speaking of cats, there's so many. So let's pop down. We'll see if we can work on our prank a little bit more. Oops. Here we go. So we come down here. Villagers. Hello, villagers. If you use a charged creeper, you can get any mob head. Oh, I didn't know that. He's listening. He is listening. He is stalking me. So we are working on a prank that will, we're gonna cake someone's face. That's the prank. And I need so much cake. And this is gonna be very slow, but there we go. Cake! So I did the math. And, yep, cake. I did the math, and we need 193 shulker boxes of cake to complete this prank. So, you know, these are my first, like, 20. Wait, how many is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. These are my first 16. I don't even have 20. Oh. It's quite the prank. I've never pranked this big before. Why can't I get in here? I need to, like, drop this stuff off somewhere. Here, will you hold this for me? This, and this, and the, oh, no, I'm picking it back up. And this, and this, and this, and that, and, yeah, okay. And that, and that, and hold that. Alright, there we go. That's better. Inventory space. Alright, see you later and stuff. There we go. Oh, excuse me, sorry. I didn't mean to hiccup at you. He says right before he signs off, so none of us can argue. Yeah, that makes sense. I'm out of shulkers. I am out of shulker boxes. Okay, so let's pick up this stuff before we lose it. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Okay, well let's that can go. That can go. That can go. What else is in there? I think that's it. Okay, we're gonna, oh Jesus. Oh, this is empty. I think that's not empty. Okay. Oh, wait, hold on. This can go here. Oh, I can't pick that up. We'll get rid of that carrot. Okay. I just need one more shulker for now. Here, and here, and here, and here, and here. So much cake. Oh, Shelby. Oh, dude. I spent 43 diamonds at your shop earlier. All of these came from your shop earlier, Shelves. I do like redstone blind. I am not good at redstone. It is a learning process for me, so I'm not very good. I've been watching, I don't have any emeralds. Where do the emeralds go? Who knows? I've been watching some redstoners. I was trying to build a piston door the other day. It was very sad I gave up. Oh, that's it? I just got that one cake? Thanks, dude. You know, for nothing. So I am learning redstone. I am trying to challenge myself with redstone, but I am not good at it. I do like it. I am consistently amazed at all of the things that redstone can do. Ah, you're into redstone. Oh, that's great. I wish that you had been here the other day. I missed you. Yeah, I'll actually, so I'm working on a storage system, and we're gonna head down there in just a minute. I want to fill this. What do we have? 7 left? You don't sell cake. Okay, that's 5. We'll head down in just a minute, but I'm working on a storage system that's going to be a little bit more complicated than anything I've done before, because it's going to incorporate like some redstone lights and stuff. So let's head there. There we go. I can do things. Oops. Hey, that was rude. Don't push. No pushing. Man. Alright. Sure. Here. I don't know. Whatever. I think that these bricks were supposed to go somewhere. I don't remember. So this is the start of the storage system. So I emptied all this out. I basically went until Instamine ran out. And then I stopped and I was like, that'll be big enough. And then there are some redstone contraptions here that have to do with my villagers and villager trading. So like this particular redstone contraption has to do with growing netherwort and trading netherwort to clerics. And then yeah, that's pretty much it. that's what this does. And then I think that this over here is probably going to be stairs, because by the time I set up the redstone for the sorting system, there's not going to be a whole lot of space left. So this is going to be the stairs. There's going to be another lower level, which will handle really, really big storage items like sugarcane and iron and stone, just like things that I have multiple double chests full of items for. And then up here is going to be all of the things that I don't. And I want to create a sorting system that will sort all blocks. So even if I only have like 2 of these stone brick blocks, I want a storage system that will sort them. Oh, this can come out. So all of that is going to be going up here. And like I said, I'm going to try and incorporate the colors and the warmth from the library into the build down here, which is why, okay, no problem. That's why this is all Junglewood. So it's probably what we're going to be doing the most of today. Let's go ahead and get our stuff back on a heart bar. And keep going. Whoop. I also feel like I need more torches. I have some somewhere. Oh, I don't know. This is why. Oh, what is happening? Okay, here we go. This is why I often use accessibility. Here we go. Woohoo! This is not gonna make for the most interesting stream. Oh, I know, Shelby. I'm like terrified. I'm like, oh, this is gonna take me forever. But I did see a different kind of sorting system the other day. So one of the Twitch streamers that I watch, he's on 7 days a week. It's not true. He's on almost every day in the morning. He has certain hours that he streams, just like most streamers. I don't know. Anyway, not the point. His name is John BMs, and he is playing hardcore vanilla Minecraft right now, and he's setting up a storage system, and it uses like observers and droppers and stuff. So I want to take a look at his storage system and see. It looks rather expensive, honestly. I don't know if I'll end up going with his system just because it is so expensive and time consuming. But I want to watch some of his VODs and find out what it looks like, because it might be that system is better than who is it? Was it Impulse that designed the commonly used system now that everyone seems to use with all the, I mean, there's not gonna be less redstone, but with all loose redstone, is that the right word? I don't know. So before I set up my storage system, I will probably take a look at his VODs and see, or there's someone who edits his videos, his VODs, and puts them on YouTube, so I might look at that too. Just to kind of find out, you know, maybe that system is better. I know that he said the way that he was talking, and I often have him on, hey Pablo Carl, thank you for joining us. Today we've done some other stuff, and we're continually working on a prank that we have coming up, but right now we're laying the floor in the storage system. And I have been talking about a different kind of storage system that I saw by another streamer by the name of John Bams. And my understanding of the way that his storage system works is that it allows you to put multiple different blocks into like one input. So like he would have like stone brick and stone brick stairs and stone brick slabs like all going into the same chest. This is literally my normal speed. This is I will try and slow it down for you. I'm sorry. I've been accused of having no inside voice, and speaking quickly. Yep, those are two things that I do on a regular basis. This is a server, yes. This is the Shattered Universe server. Oops. So this is a whitelisted server. Our goal is to kind of be Hermitcraft-esque, so we're just a group of people who wanted to find good friends and good company to play in. Some of us are streamers, some of us are not. That is not the purpose of our server. The purpose of our server is just to have fun and build a community. I have kind of seen what Cub did for his storage. I've watched his episodes, and I was talking to Insufficient about it because I mentioned Shabalba, and Insufficient was like, "What are you where am I going? I have no idea. I don't know what I was doing." And I was talking to Insufficient about it because I was watching Cub stream one day. Cub is not one of my favorite Hermitcrafters. He's great. He's just not my personal preference. And so I don't watch him very often, but I caught his stream one day on one of the stream weekends, and he would just throw things into it. And he'd be like, "To Shabalba," and I was like, I don't understand. And it would be like full shulker boxes and stuff. So I kind of want to check out and see what that looks like too. But I don't know. I haven't officially decided. I still need to like put a roof on and stuff. So unfortunately, Pablo, right now, this is a whitelisted server. There's an application process, and we post occasionally on Reddit. You also are required to be 18 or over to play. So right now we don't have any systems set up for subs. I can't even do subs on Twitch yet. But you know, maybe one day that will be a thing. But you're welcome to come and hang out. I really enjoy having you here. I'm glad that you're here today. Glad that you decided to take a... Oh, I can't place a block when I'm standing in the space that the block has to go. Physics. I was actually thinking about my college physics class today, and I kind of miss it. I actually really enjoyed physics. I don't know if I would enjoy advanced physics as much as I enjoyed introductory physics. But I kind of miss it. I work at a college, and so I get to talk to students all the time, and I was talking to someone about my particular physics instructor, and it was kind of like, oh, I miss physics. I don't know if a lot of people say that, but I do. I miss physics. I had a lot of fun. I did really well in that class. It made sense to me. It was algebra based, so I didn't have to use stupid calculus, which is great. I've also been thinking about, for a long time, I was considering doing Twitch tutoring for basic introductory chemistry, and I've kind of been playing around with that idea again. I think that I would really enjoy that. I think that I would have a lot of fun. I love introductory chemistry. I am a biology major, a marine biology major specifically, but there's just something about introductory chemistry that just, it makes me happy. It really does. Next year I'll be able to take some more specific courses for my degree because all of my general education requirements are out of the way. Yeah, chemistry and biology. Yeah, I love chemistry. It's funny because I remember when I took my first chemistry class at the college, and really it was my first chemistry class ever, because I had issues in high school. It's a totally different story for another time. But I remember taking my first chemistry class, and I struggled so hard. I remember thinking, like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this. Like, if this is as hard as everything is, I don't know if I'm going to be able to be a marine biologist, which is, you know, that's my goal. That's what I want. That's what I love. And I somehow made it through. And then I remember on the last day of class, our professor gave, like, this little speech about, like, riding a bike. he actually used an example. He had an opportunity to write a unicycle, and he said, I wrote the unicycle and I fell off and I never wrote it again. And now I don't know how to write a unicycle. Not because I fell, but because I didn't keep trying. And, like, I'm for science, yes. You know, I needed to hear that. I am an adult, and an adult as in I am not a traditional student. I'm older than most traditional students. And it was still a message that I needed to hear, that, like, you know, you don't have to be good at something, you just have to keep trying at it. And that's really what chemistry ended up being for me. I was really excited to take a lot more chemistry to get my associates, which I now have, and moving on to get my bachelor's starting next year. And oops, here we go. Okay. And then I got to the next level of chemistry, and I like barely passed with a high enough grade to move up in chemistry. And I think the difference in the instructor, my introductory chemistry instructor was fine, but he was not my particular teaching style favorite. And then I really clicked with my next instructor. He actually ended up writing me a letter of recommendation that got me an internship, which is really great. And I just fell in love with it. And I remember I think every chemistry professor that I had actually said that they had started out as biology majors and then ended up switching to chemistry. And I remember thinking, well, that's insane. But by the time I finished the general chemistry pathway, which is what came after introduction to chemistry, I considered briefly changing my major to a chemistry major. The nuclear chemistry, I think is what it's called, where it's all about like the nucleus and the shape of atoms and things like that, and why they're shaped. It might be physical. No, I don't think it's physical. I don't know enough about like the different kinds of chemistry because it's not the field I decided to go into. But just like the shape of atoms and why they're shaped that way and the way that charges interact with each other. And then we started talking about there's, maybe you don't know, but there is, when you're talking about metals, say you're talking about like aluminum, and you have a bunch of aluminum atoms that are all connected to each other, you get what is called a sea of electrons, where there are electrons that are just like free floating within, there's a certain distance that they can, I'm not already. There's a certain distance that they can move from the nucleus based on charges and what's pulling what and where and how far and all kinds of crazy stuff. And all of that is like super fascinating to me. And then one of my mentors is actually, she has a doctoral degree in chemistry. And she did work on, she's gonna shoot me because I don't remember the exact name of it, but one of her doctoral programs that she was a part of was doing work on energy generated by, I'm going to call it teleporting electrons, which isn't quite right, but when you get down to the level that we're talking about, when you're talking about things the size and mass of electrons, like the regular book just, it goes out the window. You have to like start learning all new physics and things like that. And so she was doing some really interesting work with energy transfer. And it was kind of about like creating power banks and how to create power banks from, did you literally just spawn there? That was unkind. How to create power banks from electrons jumping into different shells. Exactly. And that's basically what I'm talking about. But what she was talking about, and I don't understand it enough to explain it even better, but what she was talking about was like it was a different level of like teleport. Like there's an electron moving shells which releases like an energy pulse, which is how we end up with like fireworks and things like that, because it releases energy at different wavelengths, which creates light, or not really creates, but can be viewed as light in the visible or even sometimes invisible spectrums, which is kind of cool. But what she was talking about was something totally different. It was like electron teleportation through matter or something like that. I don't know enough about her project, and I don't have enough chemistry knowledge to actually like understand what she was doing. And I don't know if she's published a paper on it yet, just because I know when I've talked to her, like she and I both have papers that we need to write. And honestly, the paper that I need to write, nerding out. Yeah, you get me on topics like this, I will nerd out. But I know she and I both have papers that we need to write, and honestly, I need to write my paper way more than she needs to write her paper. And it's not even just a matter of like passing on knowledge to the rest of the scientific community, but like I'm an undergrad, and undergrads don't publish papers. They just don't. Like it's not even necessarily that they can't, it's that generally they don't have enough knowledge and haven't been on research projects that will allow them to publish papers. And I did an internship, it's been about 2 years ago now, and our findings were publishable, and I had to write the paper for the internship. It was part of the process. But the paper that I wrote was not publishable. Like it was the first scientific paper really that I had ever written. And then additionally, like there were issues in it. I hadn't been through the general biology course, so I hadn't even learned really to read scientific papers, let alone write one. And so my PI sent me, you may know this, but for anyone who doesn't, a PI is a primary investigator. It's generally your boss on a research project. And my PI sent me a bunch of edits and was like, this is publishable, you should do something with it. And then I literally did nothing with it. And sometimes I want to reach out to him and see how he's doing. And then I'm like, oh, I haven't written the paper. Maybe I shouldn't. Yeah, so I did some research on burrowing mud shrimp a couple of summers ago through an REU program, which is a research experience for undergraduates program funded by the National Science Foundation. And the institution, whoop! Yeah, I saw you. The institution that I did the internship through was Oregon State University. So I was at Hatfield Marine Science Center, and I was working with Dr. John Chapman. Procrastination is a solution to our overly complicated lives. Otherwise, we become too depressed because there's always too much to do. It certainly feels like that. And honestly, like, I could probably talk to my boss. So right now I'm working, I'm taking a year off between my associates and my bachelor's. One, I had a lot of things happen in my personal life that just kind of made me go, I need to take a step back and I need to just be a person and not be a student for a little while. And then additionally, it took me 5 years to get my associate's degree. When I started, I was working full-time and taking classes. It had also been over probably 10 or 15 years since I'd been in any kind of class, period. And so I had a ton of prereqs, and then I had also dropped out of high school, so even though I had my GED, I didn't have like English placement or math placement or anything like that. So I had a bunch of math classes that I had to take, and just a regular amount of English classes. My English has always been pretty good. But man, so I decided to take a year off, and I am currently working in 2 positions at the college that I attended. So the first position is in the advising department, so I help connect students to resources. that they need around campus, because it's confusing. College is confusing. One of our advisors, I think, says it best, and he always says you get through college by becoming an expert on how to get through college. And that's really a great description. I have been in a number of leadership positions, so I have a lot of connections all over campus too, which I think has really helped, because I can reach out and be like, hey, this student is having this issue. Can you help me help them? And I think sometimes that helps, more than just some student, emailing a department or something like that. Oops, that's not where that's supposed to go. And then the other position that I work is actually through the Mesa Center at our college. So MESA stands for Math, Engineering, Science Achievement. It is a program that was developed for really minorities and the underserved in the science community within education. So people of color, not just African American, but all people of color, women, those who are coming from poverty or from underserved communities, all of those things. And you don't have to be any of those things to be a MESA student. You just have to fall within one of the programs that MESA supports. And I was connected with MESA about the time that I got the internship. Certified college dropout. You know what? I will, everyone says that, like, you need to go to college or trade school. It's not for everybody. And it's hard. It's really hard. And it's okay. If you're happy doing what you do, you do you. That's really how I feel about it. I love education. Oh, I'm like, why won't this go? It's because there's that. I love learning. I'm curious by nature. When I was younger, science scared me. I didn't think that I had a science brain. It was back when, and they may still, say this, but it was back when it was like, oh, you're either left brain or right brain. And you can never be both, and one of them is one way and the other is the other way. And so I liked to draw, and I liked to read, and I enjoyed writing, and so I just assumed that I would never be good at science or math. Now that I'm older, I realize, one, it's much more complicated than that, and two, you should never tell people that. When you become a Twitch superstar. Yeah, absolutely. If you pick a program of study, a lot of times there is financial aid available. Not all of, but a good portion of my education thus far. Again, I went to community college, but a good portion of it has been covered by state need grants, which I don't have to pay back. I have taken out a couple of loans, but those were honestly for classes that I wanted to take that weren't necessarily a part of my program. I took some classes that were recommended to me that I hated. I mean, it just kind of works out that way sometimes. But I would, if you want to go back, I would encourage you to do it, and I would encourage you to look into financial aid. I don't remember the statistics, but essentially, one, you should always, if you're stateside here in the U.S., you should definitely fill out the FAFSA, which is the Federal Aid Financial something. That's good. I'm glad it's when, not if. Woohoo! See, you're already halfway there. Anyway, you should fill out the FAFSA. Our college in particular, has, it's like a 30% application rate for the FAFSA, and it's estimated that at least another 50% of the students who don't apply for it qualify for it. So I would encourage you to fill that out, because even if you don't think that you qualify for anything, you actually might. There are also programs for like single mothers and or even just mothers and for specific programs, and sometimes colleges will have their own scholarships. So the community college that I attend has its own foundation and its own set of scholarships. that you can apply for, and there's one separate application for those scholarships. So you fill out your FAFSA, which the school then evaluates for. My phone is going crazy. Okay, work stuff. Anyway, I forgot what I was saying. Oh, yeah, the FAFSA, the school will evaluate when you fill out your FAFSA for state, county, federal grants and loans. And then there is a separate one at our school for specifically school scholarships and school grants that are handled through the foundation. I have plans to develop custom training for my field of trade. Lead electrical professor in my former college was a customer at a former place of work, and he asked to do a workshop for his students about what I do for a living. Oh, that's really cool. See, you have connections. That sounds great. Is electrical the field that you are wanting to go into? Also, konnichiwa, Drago-san. It's a lot of torches, and it's still not enough because things keep spawning. I'm pretty good. How are you today, my friend? We're just inputting floors and talking about college, really is what's happening here. I've been on a couple of rants about chemistry and biology and internships and needing to write scientific papers that I'm too lazy to do. Playing Minecraft and talking science. My two favorite things in the entire world. Oh man. I speak very little Japanese. Very, very little. So Japanese, I'm required to have 2 quarters of a foreign language to graduate from my 4-year institution. Those were the classes I ended up paying out of pocket for at the community college because I didn't actually apply to my degree at the community college. That was wrong. But they were cheaper. It was cheaper to take a foreign language there than it would have been. Why? My mouse just went all weird and funky. So I went ahead and did it. And I took 2 quarters of Japanese. And the second quarter, I had planned on taking 3 quarters of Japanese and just taking the whole series. And then I failed the first class because it's hard. It's very hard. So I failed the first class and I had to retake it. I had so much more fun the second time because I had like a basic understanding and I knew most of the vocabulary. And then I took the second class and I passed it, but barely. It was at the very beginning of the COVID shutdown, and so it was online, and I had considered unenrolling and just not taking it online, and I wish that I had done that. I mean, it's done, it's out of the way, but I don't know if I got a good enough grade to transfer it, honestly. So I do speak a little bit. I know a couple of greetings, and I don't actually know the kanji that Drago-san used. But I applied general knowledge. That's awesome. Yeah, I watch anime sometimes in Japanese. I'm not a huge fan of anime in general. But especially when I take classes, like Japanese classes, I'll try and like put one on in the background or something, so that I have some sort of Japanese going. So like I think right now on Netflix I have Cardcaptor Sakura that plays sometimes in the background. After this last quarter where I just kind of like petered out because of the COVID stuff, I haven't really done any Japanese stuff. I'm actually looking at potentially learning Norwegian, which I think might be a little bit more applicable. I took Japanese because I love it. I took it in high school and I really enjoyed the language. Yeah, Cardcaptor Sakura. We're gonna go like this. I watched some of it when I was growing up. I didn't watch a whole lot, but I did watch some. I watched Pokemon. I don't know if Pokemon is actually... Oops. Is actually considered anime. I don't know. If it comes from Japan and it's animated as an anime, why? Why are you doing this to me? Game. Why? Oh, I need that. I need that torch. There we go. Okay. I'm gonna get a drink of water. I've been doing a lot of talking, y'all. If you're here and you're lurking, thanks for being here, y'all. You don't have to talk in chat to be a part of this stream, and I'm so glad that you are here. If you haven't already, make sure to go ahead and hit that follow button so you get alerts when I go live. Right now, I'm live every Monday at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And I try and put in there if I'm going to be live at other times, but any other stream is just a bonus stream. But right now, Mondays are my only regular day. Took a few years of basic courses. Ah, that's so awesome. Oh, I'm jealous of that. I know I see where people build like computers and calculators, and I'm like, yeah, I got nothing. I just, yep. I watch tutorials. That's how I build redstone for the most part. I have reached a point where I kind of know what some of the blocks do. I spent a lot of time, I don't know why it keeps doing that. I spent a lot of time trying to figure out how comparators work, and I am still not 100% sure that I understand how comparators work. I mean, I know that like the basic of how a comparator works is essentially like it reads whatever it's pointing out from. Ugh, dog hair in my mouth. It reads whatever it's pointing out from and distributes a redstone signal. Thanks, Shelp. And anyway, outputs a redstone signal based on what and the amount of that is in that particular chest or hopper or whatever the case may be. Oops. But I know that there are like more complicated uses for it. I've been trying to figure out a single item sorting system where like I can sort non-stackable items such as swords or cake. If I could figure out how to sort cake, that would be great. That is so great, Blind. I'm going to follow you right now, actually. If I can figure out how. Because that all sounds really great. So I just followed you. Because that's fantastic. I want to see how that goes for you. And I wish you very well. I think that would be great. It's interesting because I know that Minecraft actually has an educational version that's meant for like teachers and stuff, but I don't know I don't know what that does. I don't know what kind of educational that is. And there are some mods, I'm sure that you've probably looked into this too, but there are some mods that do things that the general game doesn't. That might be kind of fun for teaching. But yeah, I've been curious about the educational version of Minecraft for a while and what all is included in that. So that'd be kind of cool. I know, I really I've played Sky Factory and Stoneblock before, and I really enjoy those mods. I haven't made it super far, so my Stoneblock world, my computer got too old to run it, and I lost the Stoneblock world. Excuse me, and I haven't started another one up. And then it was a very similar story with Sky Factory, actually, where my computer just it reached a point where my computer couldn't run it anymore. The world was too big and too complicated. But now I have a new computer, so I'd like to take a look at those again. That'd be kind of fun. Do like a Sky Factory day. You can all watch me and yell at me because I'm doing it all wrong. Yeah, that's actually really good. That's a good point. Like your brain, Blind. I like it. Here we go. Woo. Yeah, this is mostly vanilla. Shadow Universe is mostly vanilla. We have some data packs. I have some, I think I still have my texture packs on. Resource packs. Yeah, I have a couple of Vanilla Tweaks resource packs. And then the Some More Dolphins is actually additional pack that I'm working on that adds different species of dolphins to the game. Because my base is... I never actually get to finish it. It's supposed to be like a marine biological base. It's the theme I'm going with this season. And so I had originally thought that I would have dolphins, like a captive area for dolphins, and then there's a glitch in the game where they despawn, or they drown without actually drowning or something. Anyway, I can't seem to keep dolphins. I've named like 16 dolphins and eventually I just gave up. But I wanted additional dolphin species in my game, so I actually streamed it. I think the bot is still available. I admittedly don't know that much about Twitch VODs. But I did stream a day where I was like basically mapping the dolphin. Ah! Don't kill me. Mapping the dolphin texture and then editing that to create the dolphins that are in the More Dolphins pack. The only reason I haven't uploaded the More Dolphins pack to any resource pack sites yet because I want to create a skeletal dolphin. I think that'd be kind of fun. And until I get that done, I'm not quite prepared to release it to the general public. But it works on other computers. I did have some of my Shattered Universe buddies check it out. So I know that it works. It does require Optifine, but it works. I can't wait to get the ceiling on. So the mobs will stop dropping down from there. I guess I could light it up. Let's go like this. But that's too obvious. There we go. Oh, it's literally... Is it just right here? Oh. This is probably a ravine that I... Oh, well. In any case, here we go. I feel like I should show you some dolphins now. After I've talked about the pack. Let's go up. I mean, I could use a look at the sky anyway, so. Dead cat. Dead cat. Ooh, a head! Woohoo! There's so many cats because of villagers. Here we go. This is fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. Okay. So I have the regular Minecraft dolphin skin as part of the pack. And then I have, it's either a grayer or a bluer version, I don't remember. And then I have Commerson's dolphins, white-sided dolphins, Atlantic spotted dolphins. I think there's one more. Dolphins! I love dolphins. Let's see if we can find some, shall we? Breathe. Okay, usually they're not this hard to find. I live by an ocean. Where are the dolphins? You know, alternatively, you could throw something in the water and wait for them to show up. They do tend to come when that happens. Those are fish. Can't breathe. Alright. Let's do this. Oh my gosh, so slow. Okay. Oh, I was like, why? I thought that I had respiration, but my helmet died. I have no helmet. Thank you! That was the first thing that I did that actually made this feel like a marine base, honestly. Oh, wow. Okay, that... It must be the gold in the carrot, because it sunk really far. Yep, same thing. Wow. Dolphin, dolphin, where art thou? What kinds of fish? So fishery building is my next build. I'm very excited about it. I just need to get the storage done so that I can get the shore... Oh, you can't even see it. I can get the shore cleaned up. Get a place to sort things. Oh, yay! Here we go. This is one of the spotted dolphins. I knew if I threw something in the water, they would come. So dolphins spawn in groups of anywhere from 2 to 4. So there should be other dolphins around here now also. There we go. Here we go. Here's one over here. This might actually be the same one. There's another one up there. Oh, there's a black dolphin as well. So this is the white-sided dolphin, which is, strangely enough, they're not actually quite white-sided. I like these guys, though. I think that the white-sided are probably one of my favorite designs that I added to the pack. I really like the spotted dolphins, but the variety of color on the white-sided dolphin, because they have, like, it's like yellow-orange, and then a light gray, and a dark gray, almost blue, and then the light underside. So... Come on. Out of the water. So yeah. But this is my current storage, and it's a mess. It's so messy. Look at it. It's disgusting. It's driving me insane. This is why. We need to go back down. Why? Why are you here? Why are you picking up string? Oops. Hit the microphone. Sorry, guys. Sorry. Oh, sorry. No head. Okay. Let's put... Did I get a head? Do I have a head? I do have a head. I have a cat head. I thought I had a cat head. This is Jackson. He used to work for me, but something happened and he teleported back home. And we've made more sales since he left than we did when he was there. So... he no longer works for me. Long story long, he was fired. So I'm really excited about this feature. This is actually like a barrel, and so it's going to be like book return, movie return. So these front two are going to go directly into the storage system, so I can drop things off up here. And then these back two are going to be for the smelter. So one will be fuel, and one will be... What do you put in a smelter other than fuel? Items to smelt, I guess? Pablo Caro, if you're still here, thank you so much for the follow. I'm sorry I didn't see that earlier. Okay. It's very dark outside. I love this place. Okay. Let's sleep. Let's sleep. Alright. And down. Oh yeah, the big hole is gone. I don't have to worry when I come down that hole anymore. Granted, it'll be covered up soon, but... And boop. Interesting. Interesting. Alright, where were we? We're almost a quarter of the way done. And by almost, I mean not really that close. I'm gonna have to cut down more trees soon. Oh, I have cat hair in my eyeball. Oh. I feel like I'm running out of things to say. Hurry, change the topic. Ah! Why? Why you do that to me? There we go. So Blind, are you in the US? Where are you from, yo? You have to be specific. I don't want you to, like, give me your home address. I'm just curious. Right. Right. Oh. Ah! Ah! This is not going well. This is not going well. Ooh, New Mexico. That sounds warm. Oop. Oop. Do you guys have, like, raging hot summers? That's how I imagine it. You're so close to Texas. This is why I come up here. Okay, there we go. Okay, we're safe. At least for now. It's been kind of warm here, but by kind of warm, I mean, you know, in like the low 80s, which is really hot for this area. I live in the Pacific Northwest, and we have pretty, like, temperate weather, so it doesn't rain a whole lot. But in the summer, we usually get a couple of weeks of, like, really warm weather, and then we all die. Like, for you, it's probably, like, shorts and t-shirt weather. Like, it's just, this is fine, let's go outside. But for us, it's like, oh god, the world is ending. We've had air conditioning on all week. Oh, interesting. Okay. Very dry, very little rain. I went to Vegas. Oh god, it's been a long time. I was a kid. I should say my parents went to Vegas. We took a family vacation to Vegas when I was younger. And even though, I mean, it was hot. I think it got up to like 120 when we were in Vegas, but it was a dry heat, so it was actually kind of nice. So I can imagine that people do like the weather there if it's a nice dry heat. I'm gonna run out of torches before I run out of things. Yeah. Yes, please. Well, I bet that I have both of, well, I now know that I have blind beet in the rain department, but I probably have Drago beet too. I live in Washington, and I don't know if you ever read Twilight, but Forks is she decided on Forks for where the vampires will live because she did a search on the rainiest place in, like, the country, and that's what popped up. And Forks is like a 2-hour drive from my house. Maybe 3. Or 4. But still, it's very close. It rains a lot here. I actually like it. I don't mind the rain so much. I wish that we got more snow in the winter, truthfully. I love snow. I think snow is fabulous. Oh, wow. How do you have... Wow. Oh, it's also the rainy season for you, though, isn't it, Drago? Because you're in one of those, like, tropical climates. Drago is in the southeast of the United States. I sometimes check on him to make sure that he has not been blown away by a hurricane. Although that probably applies to you also, because I think you're both on the Gulf of Mexico. In the desert. Does the desert have a rainy season? See, it's weird because here in Washington, our rainy season is winter. So it's hard for me sometimes because I forget that for a lot of people it's the summer. Even places like Africa, their rainy season is the summer, which makes logical sense because when it heats up, that would be when water would evaporate and turn into clouds. This is a very scary corner of life. Let's steal a... Okay. Feel a little bit better about that, I think. A little late this year. Interesting. Fascinating. Fascinating. Weather is oddly interesting to me as a marine biologist. I took an oceanography class this last year. I think it was in the fall, maybe. Anyway, so like all of the weather patterns on Earth, and you may know this. I did not know this. This was a learning experience for me. But all of the weather patterns on Earth are driven by ocean, are driven by the ocean. So obviously it starts like in space, and then when like rays hit the earth, it determines the weather, and then the weather determines the currents, which is how we end up with things like the Great Pacific Garbage Patch, which is I think my mind was blown. I remember taking that class and we started talking about like not like the Big Bang, but like the history of Earth. And I was like, this is not what I thought this class was going to be. And then as we started talking about weather and the effects weather has on currents, and about like areas where there aren't currents, and about headwinds and things like that, I was like, oh, okay, this all makes really sense. A lot of sense. And then I had this moment of like, well, I mean, not that I didn't think that it was important previously for us to take care of our oceans. I'm a marine biology major, but like, why does no one talk about this? Like, if we destroy our climate, we're gonna destroy or if we destroy the oceans and the climate, like, so much of our everything comes from the oceans. So I want to say it's like 70% of the oxygen on Earth is actually fueled by oceans. So people get worried and concerned about deforestation, and they absolutely should. That's something to be concerned about. But it's not even the major driving force behind oxygenation, which is usually the number one reason that people are like, oh, we need to not deforest our planet or we're not going to be able to breathe. We need to take care of our oceans or we won't be able to breathe. So most of the oxygen on the planet actually comes from a microorganism usually a microorganism called phytoplankton. So phytoplankton are generally very tiny organisms that float in currents and on waves in the ocean. So to be qualified as either zooplankton or phytoplankton, you have to be free floating with little to no control over, basically carried by currents. And phytoplankton, which are the plant version of plankton, which include like algae, whatever, however you want to say that, which include like algae and diatoms, really produce most of the oxygen on this planet. So as we destroy our oceans, we're actually destroying our main source of oxygen, which is, not a great thing. I vote we don't destroy the thing that allows us to breathe, personally, but, It's also really interesting, and I mean, we did this in biology too, but talking about energy transfer as far as like predator and prey relationships go, because because, you start talking about primary producers and primary consumers and things like that. So when you're talking about primary consumers, and you probably know a lot of this, but if you don't, I'm gonna ramble on. But when we talk about primary producers, what we're really talking about is we're talking about some sort of plant generally. Primary producer is a producer that takes light and turns it into energy. So we're really talking about plants and that process where they take light and they turn it into carbohydrates or sugars, and that those sugars are then used to fuel the plant's processes. And then you have primary consumers, which are the things that eat plants. And then you have secondary and, of course, tertiary consumers, which are the things that no worries. That's totally fine, blind. Absolutely. I'm just glad I didn't lose you. I was like, oh, I'm doing weird rambles right now. Oh, I ran out of torches. It's fine. I should probably just make more. Let's do that. Let's run upstairs and make more torches really quick. Yeah, I can do that. But then you have primary consumers, which basically eat the primary producers of plants. And then you have, oh. It's wood. Okay. And then you have primary or secondary consumers, which eat the things that eat the plants. So like a wolf would eat maybe a cow or an elk. Oh, good. Okay. I'm glad it's entertaining. I was like, oh, I lost everyone. So I'm glad that you're enjoying it. And then you have, secondary consumers like a wolf that eats elk or deer, which would be considered a primary consumer, because they eat plants to survive. And then you have a secondary consumer, which is a little bit more rare. And that secondary, I was making torches. And that secondary consumer eats the thing that eats the thing that eats the plant. So these are a little bit more rare, but they include things like, I think orcas are the ones that I'm thinking of, like, right offhand. So orcas would, and it's not so strict. So, like, orcas eat fish, which are primary consumers, but they also eat sharks and dolphins and other whales. That's why they're called killer whales, is because they kill whales. Here we go. Let's go like that. Let me 2 stacks. Oops. There we go. And so when they eat sharks or dolphins or whales, depending on the whale, to be fair, they're acting as a secondary consumer. And then there are actually tertiary consumers, but I don't remember that many details about them. They're very rare. I think that they might include things like humans, but I don't remember, and I'm hesitant to say for that reason. So it's really interesting talking about energy flow, and it's interesting too because it makes me think about like vegans. I am not a vegan. I don't think that it is unethical to eat meat. I do think that some of the ways that we raise our meat is unethical, and that is an issue that I have thought about. I spent a couple of years as a vegan for that reason, and I didn't stick to it. Probably should have. Oops. But I think about vegans sometimes because I think the higher up the food chain you go, the less energy transfer there is. So primary consumer is receiving more energy from the primary producer. The closer you are to the source, the better, I guess, the transfer energy is. And only a certain amount gets passed up the food chain. So when we're talking about primary consumers, such as deer and elk and rabbits, and humans, when they're eating vegetables and plant matter and things like that, you're really talking about the most efficient. Now, obviously, like, cats, for example, are obligate carnivores. Like, they cannot process grains and plants and things like that. They're not built for it. So they can't consume a primary producer. However, for the things that can consume primary producers, it's more efficient energy-wise to do that than it is to consume either a primary consumer or a secondary consumer, because you're getting more energy by consuming a primary producer. I've said primary so many times, I don't even know if it's a word anymore. So I think about that sometimes when I think about like vegans and vegetarians and things like that, is that they're, whatever your ethical beliefs are. And again, I'm not a nutritionist. I'm not talking about nutrition. I'm talking very specifically about energy transfer and energy from consuming, eating. And keep in mind also, this is with an associate's degree in biology. So I'm not a doctor or anything like that. I am not telling you to become a vegetarian or a vegan. I am simply pointing out things that I've thought about. And yeah, so it's just interesting to me when I think about things like that. I'm not saying that, evangelical vegans are right or that they're wrong, or, but just from an energy transfer standpoint, it is fairly logical, actually, to be a vegan, because you become a primary consumer when you do that, and you're getting more of an energy transfer. Thanks. Yeah, it's a really interesting science to me. I am so I say marine biology, and that is a huge field. It's even huger than I ever imagined. Huger, bigger than I ever imagined. Even when I knew I wanted to be a marine biologist, there are so many specialties and, taxonomist. And, I said I was working with those mud shrimp a couple years ago. I didn't even know mud shrimp were a thing until I got that internship. I worked with a couple of invasive species experts, which again, I didn't even know was a field, let alone that like there were experts in the field of invasive marine species, which is kind of interesting. But my primary interest is actually in behavioral science. So I'm interested in all of the I'm out again. And all of the biology and things like that. I love the science of it. I love the logical flow of it. It brings joy to me, which is strange. Lurk. Gotcha. Which is strange because I never imagined that would be who I was when I was a kid. But yeah, here I am. And but behavioral science, I spent almost a decade working with dogs in various, and to be fair, I mean, I was working with dogs and cats and rabbits and things like that, but primarily dogs. I spent about a year or two working in a boarding facility, and then I was transferred to the canine daycare department, the doggy daycare part of that same boarding facility. And part of our training included meeting with behaviorists to help teach us behaviors and how to combat behaviors and how to make sure that we had a good play floor. Hint, it's not possible. And then from there I went on to work in a shelter, and so I was working with a lot of animals that either had abusive pasts or trust issues, or even just like being in the shelter environment can be very stressful. So I needed to understand canine behavior in order to stay safe at my work. And then I transferred into the cat department, and the same became true of cats. And just through all of this, I realized that I had a real passion for behavioral science, specifically with animals. People behavioral science is also fascinating, but it doesn't fascinate me enough to want to make that a career. And then I am part of what I consider to be the Free Willy generation, where, I watched Free Willy as a kid, and then as I started to get a little older, we saw, them work very hard to work on actually freeing the whale that played Free Willy, Keiko, and saw what that became, and watched, literally as he died, and there are questions to be raised about all of those things, and I think that they are good questions to ask ourselves about, is it really ethical to try and arrange the release of captive orcas, and is that the best option for the captive orcas? Because I firmly believe that captivity is harmful to them, and that it is not the best place for them to be. And so I'm interested in that area of behavioral science, but also just kind of in general, orca behavioral science. So I have loved orcas since I was a child, and it it hasn't died. If anything, it's gotten stronger. I remember when I was a little kid and I was like, I'm gonna be a marine biologist one day, and I had no idea what that meant. And then when I got into school and I realized that like there were all of these science classes that I'd have to do, and I talked earlier about being kind of English minded and how I thought that I was left or right brain, and that I couldn't do certain things, and everyone would tell me that I was smart, but I didn't feel smart, and so I just kind of gave up on that. And then I came back to it because that passion never really died, and if anything, it was reignited by spending that decade working with dogs and working really in canine behavior. I wasn't a behaviorist, but I had to know canine behavior if I didn't want to get my arm ripped off by a dog that is terrified and angry or mean. Like, I know that people want to say, oh, it's all about how they're raised, and I think that in some instances that's true, but I've seen plenty of instances where it's not necessarily, and they're just dogs that are just wrong, and it's unfortunate. It's like people. There are people who are born, and they're born with broken brains, and I think that there are more resources for people, and there should be more resources for people, but we don't have those. You can't send a dog to therapy to work out his issues like you can with people. And so, sometimes there aren't a whole lot of options. Anyway, that was a weird sidetrack. But the behavioral aspect of that just kind of like reignited in me the desire to work behaviorally with a class of species that are known as cetaceans. So that includes all whales and all dolphins. And specifically, I'm interested in small-toothed whales and dolphins, which is Odonte cetacean. And then the study of behavior is ethology. So I am interested in becoming an Odonte cetacean ethologist. Let's make it super fancy. I always want to use that term because I get really excited because I know exactly what it means. But other people don't. So I have to be really careful to not sound too pompous. If only we could. I know. I wish that we could send dogs to therapy. We had a dog, so I felt kind of bad. My dad and I were actually recently talking about this, but I had been working at the Humane Society, and I was no longer working in the dog department, but it was fairly soon after Pokemon Go had been released, and we just had a little dog, and I wasn't living at home. So when I say we, I mean my parents. And I thought, well, I'm going to go to the park and I'm going to do some walking anyway because I want to go catch Pokemon. So I hit up our behaviorist and I said, hey, do we have any dogs that I could take to the park for a walk that are going to be easy to walk? Like really good dogs, because I'm going to be playing Pokemon. So I'm going to be looking at my phone half the time. But I thought it'd be kind of nice to get a shelter dog out for a while. And she's like, oh my God, yes, you should take this dog Bruno out. And I said, okay. And so I went to the shelter and I picked him up. And Bruno and I went to the park. And that same day, my parents and I decided that we were going to go to Vashon Island together. And so, was it Vashon? Yeah, it was Vashon. We decided we were going to go to Vashon Island together. And so they came by the park to pick me up, not realizing that I had picked up a shelter dog. And so they came to pick me up, and Bruno was great. He was great the whole time we went for the walk. And then when my parents showed up, he got really excited, and he actually jumped in the car and started kissing my dad in the face. And my dad had not had a dog since his dog had passed away, and he instantly fell in love with Bruno. And so he had not considered owning a dog since his dog had passed away. He had been convinced that he wouldn't own another dog. And to be fair, his dog's name was Coco, and Coco was probably the best dog on the planet. Like, really, like, I love the dog that we have now. Coco was well behaved. He was friendly. He liked to play. He was really my dad's dog, but like, he loved all people. Really? I'm gonna have to go cut more trees. And So I was surprised that my dad wanted Bruno. And so what I did was I arranged with behaviorist with permission from work to take Bruno to my parents' house to do an introduction to their dog. They had whatever, very small dog by the name of Bug. Which, if you watched any of my streams in the past, Bug is represented by that little cute black dog on my channel page. And back when I used to stream with my video going, he would sit on my shoulder. No. I don't know why I didn't expect that. Everyone was asleep. And so I brought Bruno over. We did an introduction with Bug. It actually went really well. And then my parents decided that they were pretty sure they wanted to adopt him. And so I arranged for like a trial period, basically. You know, there are certain benefits that I got from working in the shelter and from being pretty close. So the woman, the behaviorist who works at the shelter, we're actually still close friends. Neither one of us work there anymore. Why are you zooming everywhere? You're gonna get me murdered. And so we arranged for them to do a trial period. Everything was fine during the trial period. And then not immediately after, but pretty soon after they actually adopted him, I started seeing some kind of troubling behaviors. So he would guard things. So there was one time we used to do this thing, it's called a box game. And we would play the box game. And essentially what that is you put treats in a box and then you let the dog shred the box. And it's pretty good for them. It's something that we would do in the shelter to help create stimulation for them. Because they would do what's called kennel crazy. They would become what we would call kennel crazy, where they've just been locked up so much, even with volunteers walking them, that they wouldn't become unadoptable. That's not quite the right term. That's not what I'm looking for. But they would be harder to adopt because they'd just be psycho. Like, just crazy all of the time. And people would think, oh, that's a crazy dog. I don't want to adopt that dog. When really they'd just been in the shelter for so long, and they'd been in the kennel for so long that they needed an outlet. They didn't have enough of an outlet. They weren't getting the attention that they needed because we were an open admission shelter. Like, we didn't have the time. That's why we had volunteers. But even with the volunteers, you know, when you have 100 dogs to walk and give attention to, it's not always easy. We always did the best that we could. And so I would play the box game with him because it was good for him. And there were a couple times where he started side-eyeing Bug, or the other dog in the house, in like the way of like, I'm gonna eat your face. Hey, Tostada, thank you so much for the follow. Really appreciate it. I hope you're enjoying this. My crazy biology personal story rambles in Minecraft, where we while we lay floor on the ground. Thank you so much for hanging out and being here with us. Ooh, that's a really tall tree. And so I started having to take the boxes away. And slowly I just kind of phased that. Wow, that one's even taller. And slowly I just kind of phased that particular game out of his repertoire. And he needed some training. He knew some commands, but he didn't know a lot of commands. He was not treat motivated, which made everything even harder. So when you're trying to work with a dog that doesn't really care about food, it's really hard to motivate them to do things. And he had obviously never been played with, as far as like toys go. So we got him toys and he loved to shred the toys, but he had no idea how to fetch. So my dad was trying really hard. My dad and I went over, like, I was teaching my dad how to teach the dog to fetch, which is an interesting process. And again, kind of hard, because the idea when you're teaching, a lot of puppies will pick on it pretty easily, especially if you have retrievers. The idea when you're teaching an older dog to fetch is that you send them out for the toy, which they chase because that's what dogs do. They are at their instinctual level, they are predators. They still have a little bit of that predator slash prey drive in them. And so they chase because of prey drive. And then when they come back with the toy, you give them a cookie. And so one, you're trading the cookie for the toy, so you get the toy back. And two, you're basically reinforcing that behavior. That's probably enough trees. I just realized what I've done. Let's get rid of some of these other blocks too. So trash dump. That can go, that can go, that can go. And so I taught my dad basically how to teach Bruno how to play, and he was working on that. But we were having problems with him at the fence. So we live in the quote unquote city. We live in an urban area. And so our fence backs right up against our neighbor's fence. And these neighbors were kind of new at the time. They hadn't been living there very long. And so he would bark and bark and bark and bark when they were out there. And when their dog would be out there, they would run up and down the fence at each other. And their dog actually injured herself doing that. And then they tried to make us pay for it, and we told them no. Because they initially said it was fine, and then they tried to blame it on us. And we're like, no, she's your dog. Anyway, not the point. And it was becoming an issue. I mean, really is what it was. So the neighbors ended up getting some slats to put, because of the chain link fence that borders the two properties. And so they bought slats for the chain link fence. To try and keep visibility down, but they were still doing it. And so I used to talk to my mom all the time about my job, even though I wasn't living here. So I tell her about dog fights and things like that. And so she decided that they would try one of the techniques, which is technically safe to try at home, to break up a dog fight and see if they could get him to stop running up and down the fence. Only it pissed him off, and he bit the neighbor. Don't do that, people. There's a very specific reason I'm not telling you what the technique was, even though it's not a harmful technique. And I mean, part of the reason is that we have specific training at the shelter on how to use this technique and how it should be applied, and all of those things, which when I just tell her stories about my job, I'm not telling that part to my mother. She doesn't need the whole background portion of it. And so when they applied the technique, they did it incorrectly. And it pissed him off, and he bit the neighbor. And of course the neighbor called animal control, and it became this thing. Animal control was like, well, they basically ruled in our favor. They said, the attack was provoked. We're not going to put the dog down or anything for that. You basically asked for it. But he still had to undergo a quarantine. So I talked with the behaviorist at work, and she helped me do some things. And we had talked about it at home, and we had decided that his physical, emotional, behavioral needs were probably more at that point, because we had a couple of other weird circumstances, and that he was probably a little bit more than we could actually handle. And so we worked on trying to find him a new home. In the middle of all of this, this is a very long story, so sorry, not sorry. In the middle of all of this, my aunt needed a place to stay, and so my mom had told her that she could stay with them, with my parents at the time. Again, I wasn't living at home. And so she was moving in, and my mom calls me, and she says, your aunt's going to be staying with us for a while. And I was like, okay. Because she has dogs, and, she's like, she has these 3 dogs. What do we do to make sure that everyone's going to get along? And I said, well, I can come over and help do introductions, but you need to absolutely keep them apart until I can get there. Don't put them in the same space. They should not be outside together. Shouldn't anything. And bless her heart, she thought that she was listening to what I said, but she wasn't. And so they kept Bruno on a leash but they let the other dogs out. Now, the reason that this is not a good idea is that leash aggression is a thing. So if you haven't seen it, sometimes when dogs are on a leash, they get more defensive than they normally are. And so the fact that we're already having behavioral issues with Bruno, coupled with the fact that he was on a leash, is just kind of bad news, really, all around. Oh no. Rip, Shelby. Rip. No. Up. Yes, okay. Sad face. And so they had Bruno on a leash, and my cousin was over at the time, and she was over a lot, and so she was one of Bruno's people. He knew her, and not my aunt's. Well, obviously my aunt's daughter, because she's my cousin. Not this particular aunt's daughter, different aunt, and. And one of my aunt's dogs was able to slip out under the fence, and so she went to get him, and because Bruno was on a leash, my mom offered to hold him, but he was a very strong dog, and so my cousin was worried that he would pull my mom over. My mom had a lot of health issues, and she was really worried that he would pull my mom over, and she said, it's okay, I can do both. And so she took Bruno and kept him on leash and went out to get Cabo, who was the other dog. He's a little dog. That's how he slipped through the fence. And he was like 13 or 14. And she goes out to get him, and of course Cabo barely knows who she is, and he's a little shit anyway. I love that dog, don't get me wrong, but he was a little shit. And so, so she takes Bruno, because he's on leash, out front with her to get Cabo. Well, she reaches down to grab Cabo, and Cabo growls at her. Because he's being a little dog and he's being a shit, and that's what he does. And Bruno lost it. Bruno went after him. It was not good. I got a call at work, and the moment I realized who it was, I was like, nope. This is going to be bad news. And it was bad news. I had to leave early that day from work because of Cabo's injuries. I hadn't understood, like, the breadth of the problem. Why are you not dead? Okay. The breadth of the problem at the time, and Cabo was not okay. I left work and I came home, and we immediately went to the emergency veterinary clinic. They were able to make him comfortable enough until my aunt could get to see him because he had to be put down. Bruno killed Cabo. It was a very, very unfortunate circumstance. It's just bad. It's just bad all around. And, you know, it's, you want to look for somebody to blame in something like that, and really it's not. Everyone in that situation was doing the best job they knew how to do. Bruno was just being Bruno. Bruno was being a dog, and that's unfortunately sometimes part of owning a dog, is that they do things, you know, that you wish that they wouldn't do. You know, you hear it a lot about how, you know, dogs are like 2-year-olds. Well, you know, he can only react to the situation the way that he feels is best to react, and he's a dog, and you can't be mad at him for that, essentially. And so we talked about it as a family, and decided that the best thing would be at this point to euthanize Bruno. He was, you know, he'd already bit the neighbor, he'd now killed another dog, and it was my professional opinion, having seen the things that I had seen, was that it was going to continue to ouch. That his behavior was going to continue to escalate. At that point, the Humane Society couldn't do anything to help us. Even though we had adopted him from them because he had bit a person, he would have immediately been euthanized. He was not eligible for adoption from the Humane Society, because I talked to them when we originally talked about rehoming him, and even though Animal Control had said that it wasn't his fault, and that it was a provoked attack, the policies of the Humane Society did not allow room for that, which I understand. And, you know, we loved Bruno, and his death was super, super hard on my dad. My dad had fallen in love with him, and I was talking to my dad about Bruno the other day. We were finally in a place where we can talk about it because it's been a couple of years. Ow, what's happening? Why am I dying? And, you know, my dad had talked about how he was working with them. I'm gonna die. I should eat some food. But my dad had talked about how he had been working with him, like, in the backyard and stuff, and I was like, I had no idea that any of that was happening. And he's like, yeah, I was working really hard with him, and I really miss that dog. And, I mean, to be fair, like, on a one-on-one basis, like, Bruno was amazing. He was a people dog, really, is what it came down to. He didn't like other animals. He was a people dog, and he had some reaction issues, which is why we had a hard time getting him adopted out to anyone else, because no one else wanted to deal with the fact that he would, like, race up and down the fence and things like that, because I'd had a couple of promising leads on rehoming him, and he was just too much dog for a lot of people, which is, you know, things happen. Eating will help, it's true. That's why I'm a fat kid. But, yeah, so I mean, the situation with Bruno, I don't remember how we got on this, but, it was unfortunate, and you know, people always say it's how they're raised, and maybe Bruno was raised terribly, and he was only 3 when we adopted him. He was 5, I'm sorry. He was a 5-year-old dog, and so, you know, it ate me alive for a long time that we had to have this 5-year-old dog euthanized, and that I had been, you know, kind of key in making that decision, because my parents didn't know. They hadn't worked with some of the dogs that I had worked with or seen some of the things that I had seen, and so I had told my mom at one point, I said, I'm not willing to make that call. That's not my decision to make. He's your dog. And she basically said, yeah, but I don't know what the right thing is. And so, you know, she and I had talked about it, and we had talked through it. And that was a hard conversation to have, because, you know, she's already heartbroken. She was sitting in the back seat of the car on the way to the emergency clinic when we had that discussion, and she's holding her sister's dying dog that our dog basically at that point almost murdered. And she's crying and she's upset, and, you know, Bruno's at home, and my cousin had been okay staying there with him, which is a miracle considering, like, I found out later that, like, he had actually bit her. She was fine. She's absolutely fine. We didn't have to report the bite or anything, because he was already euthanized, and all they were going to do is require a 10-day quarantine before euthanasia, which was pointless because he had recently been quarantined anyway. So, I don't know. It was a weird situation. My aunt was really mad at us. I haven't died in so long. I like trying so hard not to die. But my aunt was really mad at us for quite a while, for euthanizing Bruno. She's like, he was just acting like a dog, and I don't want that situation to have occurred at all. But if it did have to occur, I'm glad it occurred with her, because there are a lot of people that would not have been, so forgiving or understanding. So there's your sad story of the day. Again, I don't remember. I think it was something about, you know, it's not always the owner. Sometimes it's the dogs. Because we love Bruno and we treated him well. All right. I think that we might have enough to... Yeah, we've got enough. Let's go back down. We'll put some more stuff in the floor. We're going to be calling it soon. Actually, you know what? Let's go ahead and call the episode, as if this is YouTube. Let's call the episode now. Let's go ahead and call it for today. I'm actually really hungry. I haven't eaten today. And I have a work meeting in an hour. So, thank you so much for tuning in. I'm so glad that you were here. Whether you were lurking or actively chatting, it takes all kinds to keep this stream alive and to keep me alive. So thank you so much. If you haven't already, make sure to hit that follow button so you get alerts when I go live. Right now, my schedule is you're eating now. I'm jealous, Drago. Right now, my schedule is every Monday at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I do occasionally stream on other days. Sometimes I announce that. Sometimes I do not. Sorry, I had a pop-up. Sometimes I announce it, sometimes I do not, but you are welcome to take a look at the schedule in my channel information. Again, thank you so much, whether you're lurking or chatting or just hanging out, and I hope to see you guys next time. Have a good day. Bye-bye.